It's your boy Luke, bringing you guys a quick video here for my top 6 DraftKings value plays here for the main slate in Week 4 in NFL. Using my data-driven approach, we're going to identify the best plays on the slate to help you save some salary. And these players are not only going to have solid floor projections, but also the potential to pay off in GPP contests as well. On top of these short picks videos where I go over my value plays, I already have my core plays video already up on the channel. We also have my fades and sleepers coming out a little bit later on today, as well as my weekly DFS live stream that'll be Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. Then we're going to talk player pool, ownership, any questions that you have, so make sure to stop by. But without further delay, let's hop into the picks for this week. And now for our value plays. At number 6, we have Dyami Brown of the Washington Football Team, who has a good price there at $3,400, but an even better matchup against an Atlanta Falcons defense that's gone absolutely torched in every week this season. So right now, have Brown projected for 11.4 points and has been a sneaky part of this Washington offense as a rookie, but as the season goes on, I expect that role to grow and grow and grow. Somebody who's currently the number 3 wide receiver for Washington, obviously behind Terry McLaurin on the depth chart there, also behind Adam Humphries, but to this point, you could argue that Brown's getting wide receiver number 2 production. Got 4 targets in week 1, wasn't really as big a factor in week 2, but now that they got back in week 3, we're playing from behind. He got plenty of targets, over 5 in that game. So somebody who has a very good matchup, he's getting plenty of volume in this offense, and this is one of the games that I'll be targeting as a sneaky stack. I expect there to be around 56 points scored total in this game, and because of the pricing on each side, it really could be a place to go and save some salary and spend up for some studs. At number 5, we have Maxx Williams of the Arizona Cardinals in that high-scoring game against this Los Angeles Rams team. I love his price tag at $3,000, and if you guys saw my core plays video from earlier on in the week, you know that I love this matchup. And while it doesn't look good on paper, they have great cornerbacks over there in LA. Their tight ends are very good against them. They don't have the best linebacking core in terms of their coverage ability. They don't really like putting safeties on tight ends either. So as a result, they get exposed a little bit by the big guys. This is also an offense where Williams have seen plenty of targets in. He saw 7 targets in week 2, saw 5 in week 3. So he's been very productive with them as well. Had nearly 100 yards in week 2. So he's very athletic. He's going to get targets in the red zone. And in this matchup where I expect him to get a few extra looks just because you have Jalen Ramsey and a few other stud corners over there in LA, Maxx Williams is in a great spot to feast. At number 4, we have another tight end I'm targeting at that same price tag. Definitely going to be the more chalky of the two options, though. That's Evan Engram going against the Saints. He's finally back to full health. The DraftKings pricing algorithm hasn't caught up with that yet, so now that he's back to playing full snaps, is going to be in a relatively high-scoring game as well. This is definitely a smash spot here. Again, just like the LA Rams, the Saints have very good cornerbacks, but not necessarily anyone that can cover a tight end. So Evan Engram probably going to get some extra looks for that same kind of reason there. So I like him there at $3,000. For our number 3 value play, we have Nyheim Hines, who's $4,900 against a weak Miami defense, who at this point, Miami's playing for next year. They have Tua out for the year. Jacoby Brissett does not look good as a fill-in option, and their defense has been disappointing. We expected a lot more from them. Xavier Howard has been unbelievable. They've also had a few other key young pieces as well, so they'll be there eventually, but for right now, they are a team that I'm targeting in DraftKings formats. Hines is going to get some extra work this week because Jonathan Taylor is limited with an injury, and even if he ends up suiting up, we're going to see 5 to 6 extra carries for Hines, probably 4 to 5 more targets out of the backfield, and Hines is already somebody who puts up a mediocre level of production every week, usually in that 9 to 12 point range, but with these extra touches, with the extra red zone usage as well, he could have a very good week. So right now I have him for 15.5 projected points, kind of in between one of those ceiling performances and what we're used to seeing week to week. But again, going to have more opportunity. This isn't a bad situation against a Miami Dolphins team either. And at number 2, though, we have Freddie Swain, who could be the number 1 value play on the slate. If we're looking at a point per dollar play, he actually is, but a little bit lower projected than the guy we'll get to at number 1. And with Freddie Swain, it comes down to injury. We have DK Metcalf, questionable for the Seahawks. He is expected to play, but dealing with a foot injury. Then we have Tyler Lockett, who is essentially doubtful right now. He was playing at practice earlier this week at a limited basis, and then was benched on Thursday and Wednesday because he didn't look good. And anytime you go from playing limited to not playing at all in practice, that is not a good sign at all. So I do expect him to sit. So Freddie Swain should be getting the wide receiver 2 role at the very least. If Metcalf ends up sitting, He'll be the number one wide receiver in one of the highest scoring games on the slate here against the 49ers, also in an offense that is prolific passing the ball. So Freddie Swain in a very good spot, even if only one of the two ends up sitting, one of my favorite plays in the entire slate. So that's why you see him there at number 2. And our number 1 value play, somebody I think that has the highest ceiling of all these players, and it isn't even close. It's Mecole Hardman at $4,400 of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's playing in my favorite matchup of the week against this weak Philadelphia defense, and I expect the Chiefs to come out and prove something. They have a lot on their mind. A lot of people are trashing them after their 1-2 start, and Patrick Mahomes is going to go out there and send a message. He's going to go out there, probably light them up for about 45, 52 points. I have this as by far the number 1 spot I'm targeting in DFS. And the good thing about Hardman is at that price tag, I'm able to go up and spend up for a Tyreek Hill, a Travis Kelce in my Chiefs stack. And he's the clear number 2 on this team. He's getting plenty of yardage. He had a great week last week in the same kind of situation. So not only is the game flow great, he has all that extra motivation, and he's also going to be getting their weakest cornerbacks over there in Philly. I have Darius Slay, who very well may follow Tyreek Hill. He very well may play in the slot against Byron Pringle if they end up putting out 3 wide receiver sets. But Mecole Hardman, not going to have to deal with Darius Slay. He's always going to be the other option out there that is getting that number 2 cornerback. So you could go out there and expose him. That's all I've got for the value plays, guys. Let me know in the comments who your favorite value play on the week 4 slate is and why. Would love to get some debate down there. For me, obviously, it is Mecole Hardman. You could also make an argument for Freddie Swain, especially if we get news that both of those receivers are out. But as always, guys, I appreciate the support a ton. If you guys haven't already liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys go ahead and do so. And lastly, I'll just remind you guys again about the live stream we're doing on Sunday morning. It's going to be at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, going over player pool, ownership, any live Q&A that you have. So hope to see you guys there. Until then, see ya, and good luck with any of your lineups for this weekend.